What's up, guys? For the battles here, and today I am going to talk to you about our new for the year and new for Pokemon Go Battle League. I'm just gonna be doing some ultra battles with Toshi and going over the ultra meta. We are going to be assuming that for the new Go Battle League, there won't be a format at first, and it's just going to be select 3 Pokemon, and you can't have duplicates, but any Pokemon are allowed. And so we're going to be going over basically what's going to be like really good in that meta, and what you're going to need to counter it, and what you're going to need to cover those counters. And basically, on top of this meta is going to be sitting Giratina. Now, Giratina is a dragon and ghost type, and it hits a lot really hard, and it's very, very tanky. I've heard a lot of people call it a shield in itself. Giratina is your shield. You don't even need a shield, a lot of super effective moves. And so a lot of the ultra meta is going to be based off of countering Giratina and countering Giratina's counters. And so we're just going to be taking a look at some battles later today. And we're going to be looking at this infographic, or not infographic, but just a little bit of a coverage of the meta, and King provided this, so thank you so much for this, King. And as you can see, we've got Giratina right down at the bottom, and then basically an entire meta basically devoted to it. You're gonna have your hard counters and your fairy types. And your Alolan Muck is an amazing counter to Giratina here. You're gonna have some weaker counters that have more play against other Pokemon. Registeel is really good here. Registeel is just an amazing Pokemon, and it is decent against Giratina, and then it's very good against a lot of other things. You've got your Ice Boys that are going to be good against Giratina. They're going to be able to hit back some of the grass guys that you have got to take out the fairies. And so there's other dragons that come into play. They're okay, especially against a Dragonite does well against a lot of the meta here. It's going to do really, really well against Venusaur. You're going to see a lot of Venusaur to take out fairies. It's going to do really well against Charizard. It's going to do well against the Water Boys. And so there's definitely some play for Dragonite, especially now that Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw are no longer legacy. We're going to be seeing a lot of Dragonite. And so we're just going to be going over some battles. There's a few other interesting Pokemon I'm going to talk about. I'm really liking Drapion in this meta because you have access to you can use Bite and Crunch. Those are going to be great towards Giratina. You can use it as an anti-grass. You can use it as an anti-fairy. So it's got a lot of options. Swampert is just going to be a favorite here. Swampert is going to hit the Steel Boys really hard. If you got some TMs, unlike me, you can play around with Sludge Wave on Swampert. Another way to hit those fairies really, really hard. And then there's definitely a use for Steel here because you are going to be seeing so many fairies. Steelix does very well here. Steelix is like a soft counter for some of the steals because Crunch is going to be not very effective, and steals like Clefable, and especially, and Togekiss especially, it can just take an earthquake. So, but it's got a lot of play just because it does have that fast charging move in Dragon Tail. And so few other Pokemon that have some play. I've been checking out Skuntank. Skuntank is one that could be interesting at a higher level, especially. So if you want to think about buddying up a Pokemon like Skuntank, it's going to be able to hit the fairies, it's going to hit the grass, it's going to hit the Giratina. There's not like a lot in this quote quote meta that Skuntank can't hit, and so I think this is a Pokemon to look at. A few other Pokemon. Thinking about the buddying up, there are some Pokemon that could benefit from that here. Skarmory, Whiscash is another one. Noctowl actually is a very tanky flyer here, and Wing Attack and Sky Attack, they can do really well. There's a few Pokemon that I'm going to be trying out Noctowl for. Another one is Melmetal. Melmetal does really well here. I think it needs superpower to do well in this meta. And so definitely TM that if you have got Thunderbolt and Rock Slide. I would definitely recommend the superpower. And so we're just going to look at some battles and get an overview of this meta. So I hope you guys enjoy them, and I will see you on the battlefield. Alright, so jumping into this battle with Toshi, we have got our Machamp versus the Feraligatr. Now, Machamp is pretty good here. The cross chop is very spammy. It does have to watch out for the Hydro Cannon. It's also a little bit glassy here. So it's going to be getting a lot of cross chops off, but it is going to use a shield. So we'll see if he wants to save his Feraligatr. It looks like he does. And I think he may have underestimated just how powerful counter is. Feraligatr is a little bit squishy. And then I've got a lot of energy coming into this muck. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to be able to get off a lot of cross chops. And now that cross chop is also no longer legacy, you guys are going to see just how spammy it is. It's like a body slam of fighting. And he was forced to use his shield there, and then I'm going to come in with the Skuntank because I'm going to resist his moves, and it would be dangerous for him to switch out with all that energy because one fast move from my next Pokemon could just take him out. So he did use his energy there, and then I'm not in a great position. I have Clefable in the back, and I've got this Skuntank here, so I'm just going to try to do as much damage to it as I can, and then when I can no longer get to another charge move, my Poison Jabs are just not going to be doing anything. And so I'm going to go into this Clefable. I will resist the Crunch, and the Earthquake will not KO. And so as long as I can chunk away just enough with this Charm just to get him down enough, should be okay here. Steelix is definitely a Charm counter, but it's like a little bit of a soft one. So we were able to take that game with Clefable at the end. And so for a good game one, let's go into this next battle. Now we have got the Whiscash versus Feraligatr. Now Feraligatr's waterfalls are going to be doing just a lot to Whiscash, taking that neutral damage as a ground type, not just a water type. And so I'm going to be getting this Mud Bombs off, and you can see they're not doing like a whole lot. They are spammy, but they're just not. Whiscash is another Pokemon that could benefit from being a few levels higher. So I'm just going to chunk away at this guy, try to get as much health off as I can, and then he's just going to save his shields because he knows that it's just not doing a whole lot to him. I will be able to just mudshot him down and get a little bit of energy, and then he's going to come in with his Gengar, and this would actually hurt the Gengar a lot, so he's going to be using a shield. That would have been super effective. So I'm going to come in with my Drapion, and then I'm hoping this is a Shadow Ball, but because I don't have any shields, he goes straight for the Focus Blast. I would have resisted the Shadow Ball, but that, as you can see, that Focus Blast just does so much. And then he does use his shield, and he gets even more energy on this Gengar. So I really don't have much of a choice. I need to go for the Rock Slide because he's going to resist my Cross Chop. He's going to like immune to it. Didn't have much play there. So that was a good game, Toshi, and a good showing of Gengar. You can see that energy management. So we're going to go with Noctowl versus the Swampert, and Noctowl does okay here, but Swampert does as well. I'm not a dragon, so this water damage is going to be neutral. Like unlike Altaria, it takes it better than Noctowl being a dragon as well as flying. So as you can see, this Swampert actually does quite a bit. Even without Hydro Cannon, it's just going to be hitting back. It's going to be hitting like just so fast, and that neutral damage. I was able to farm a little bit, so I'm going to get towards my next move on this Steelix, which is unfortunate. As you can see, it's not going to do very much. I'm not going to switch out just because I don't want to lock myself into something, and I do have a good counter. So I'm going to go into this Toxicroak, and then I have to watch out for this Earthquake because that would just take me out, being poisoned. So I'm going to go for these Mud Bombs. And I expect a switch coming. I'm going to shield again just because I am so afraid of this Earthquake. And that was a nice fake. So looks like he's got 2 weak to this Toxicroak. I'm going to switch into my Drapion just because it'll do better against this Alolan Muck than my than it would against the Steelix. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it now, and then save that Toxicroak for that Steelix later. And as you can see, his moves just are not going to be doing very much. So I'm just going to get this Aqua Tail off, and then I don't want him to be able to farm me at all, and I want to be in first so I can farm him up with just like one counter first, and then I'll be able to get towards my Mud Bomb just because I'm so afraid of that Earthquake. So I did undercharge that Aqua Tail so I could be taken out first. So another good game. All right, jumping into this next battle, we've got Clefable versus Charizard, and I have like one okay counter in the back. I don't want to switch into it and lock myself into it and then have him switch out and then not have it anymore. So I'm just going to let this Clefable go. Hope to get a shield. You can see that Blast Burn hurt a lot. So we are down a Pokemon, but up both shields. So I'm just going to go into this Drapion. And then I actually thought that was going to be a Dragon Claw, and I didn't really want to take that Blast Burn, but I wasn't counting, so I'm going to be able to save my move, but I don't want to lose the Drapion in the move. And so I go straight into the Venusaur, into this Clefable, and then just because Machamp is so squishy, that Frenzy Play is going to be doing a whole lot. I am going to save this Venusaur, and then I know I have a Drapion with like a move in the back. The Crunch isn't going to do very much to Clefable, but if I can get this Clefable down, I'll be able to get just the rest of it with that Drapion. So I'm hoping to get this shield out, and then I'm going to go right into this Drapion and just Aqua Tail it. Crunch is a more powerful move, but it is resisted. So I'm just going to go straight for the Aqua Tail. And that was for the game, so good game. All right, going into this next game, I'm going to go for the Giratina, and I'm with Giratina into Clefable. Now this is just terrible. I basically just have to switch. I do have a hard counter for the Clefable in the back. I was expecting if I went into this Drapion, he would switch, but he does choose to stay. And so it's not like amazing for Drapion because I don't have poison moves on this guy. And so he does just farm me down. And then I do go back into the Venusaur because I'm going to take this Dazzling Gleam. It's not going to be very, very effective. I'm going to get a little bit of energy, and then I'm going to go back into this Giratina and then save that Sludge Bomb for later. So I'm hoping just to get as much health off of this Muck as I can, and then possibly run down the clock and maybe save another move. I had a little bit of lag. I'm not sure it affected the game. I don't think it did. So I'm just gonna go. I am gonna save this Giratina just as much as I can. I do want to have an Ancient Power in the back. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna go into this Venusaur, and then here's the Charizard back. Now this Sludge Bomb would do quite a bit if he didn't block. So he does choose to block that, and now he is down a shield. And so I do have this Giratina in the back, and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna hope to get this Ancient Power off. Now, he is double weak to this, and if this was a Great League Charizard, that would have taken him out. But he got this Dragon Claw off, and so that was a really, really nice, it's a nice showing of the difference of Charizard in Great League and Ultra. It's definitely a more powerful Pokemon in Ultra. So going into this battle, I got the Swampert versus the Poliwrath, and I do charge up to Earthquake. I'm hoping to draw this shield. He doesn't give it to me, and so I'm not gonna block because anything at this point is not gonna be too bad, especially not with like a power up punch behind it. And so I charge up to Earthquake again. I'm still just trying to get this shield out, and he is just not gonna give it to me. So I'm just gonna use my energy. I'm just gonna go for all the Hydro Cannons because at this point he's pretty low. And so I did try to switch just to save a Hydro Cannon, but I wasn't successful. So I'm going to go into this Drapion. I'm not going to block just because I know he doesn't have like Dynamic Punch, which would do just a little bit more than these other moves. So I'm going to go right back into this Knocked Out. And then He comes in with Gengar, which lets me know he probably has something in the back that's also weak to this knockdown, just because I am very resistant to his ghost moves. So he basically has no choice but to go straight for Focus Blast. And so I am just going to give him my shield, and then he comes in with the Venusaur. So that was why he went in with the Gengar. And so I'm just going to I don't really have to worry about this Venusaur. I'm just going to go for the Sky Attacks. And that'll be the game pretty quick. He didn't use his shield because why prolong it? So we're gonna go into the next game. And now I'm in a really good position here. This is basically where I want Drapion, and I have counters for Venusaur in the back, and because I'm just kind of on a roll with the energy, I'm just gonna kind of let this Gengar have it, because he needs to go for Focus Blast to do a lot of damage. He does get the Shadow Ball bait, so that was nice. I'm just gonna go straight for the Aqua Tail, just because Gengar is squishy here. It's like not as squishy as Haunter is in Great League. Gengar definitely has a lot of play here, because it's got a massive attack stat, and it's not nearly as squishy as Haunter in Great League. So I'm going to go into this Dragonite, and this Dragon Breath is going to be doing a lot, but I did want to save it, so I chose to go in with this Honchkrow, and then I took that Dark Pulse on the Honchkrow instead. Honchkrow is super squishy here, but it's also extremely attack oriented, and now that it has Snarl, it gets to its moves very, very well. It always had Snarl, but Snarl was buffed, so it gets to its moves very quickly. So watch out for Honchkrow. It's another one a little bit like Haunter. I'd say it's more squishy like Haunter is. So another good game. All right, going into this one, I went in with the Honchkrow to the Clefable. Now Honchkrow, being a dark type, just has to get right out of here. So I'm gonna go in with the Blastoise, and then he did choose to stay. So I'm just gonna go for the Hydro Cannon away. Maybe he wanted to get a little bit of energy towards the Meteor Mash. So I'm not gonna give a shield here. Because I am able to just take a Cross Chop or a Rock Slide. And I am going to be able to get one more Hydro Cannon off. And so I will go in with my Toxicroak. Just because I am also going to be weak to the Honchkrow is going to be a little weak to the Machamp as well, just being a dark type. And we're going to shield here, but I do resist his charm. So I'm going to go straight for the Sludge Bomb. And then he didn't shield. And so I'm going to just go for the Mud Bombs right away. They are going to be super effective to this Alolan Muck. And then as a fighting type, I do resist that Dark Pulse, and I was lucky to get one more Mud Bomb off. And then it might have been a mistake, because this Honchkrow is going to go down to that Muck super hard. So I was going to have to take that move on something, but as you could just see how powerful Alolan Muck here is. So good game. Definitely thought I was in the win until I wasn't. So I'm gonna go into this Steelix with this Giratina, and Giratina is just kind of in a terrible position here. Now I do have a hard counter in the back, and I didn't want to go into it and lose it. And so I do go right into this Machamp. He switches out, and he goes in here, and then let's see. I was lucky to get that Sludge Bomb off. Sludge Bomb is going to do more than the Crunch, but now he is low enough. I am just going to go straight for the Crunch. So we're going to see what he's got next. And then as you can see, I'm just like, that Snarl is just not doing very much to me at all. So I do get another lucky Crunch off. It's not going to do a whole lot to him either, though. I'm going to go back into that Giratina, because I know that Steelix is in the back, and I'm going to keep saving that Whiscash. Although the Dark Pulses they're going to be doing a lot to me. I just know my Giratina can't do a lot to that Steelix. And so I really need this Whiscash. This Whiscash is going to have to be like a super Whiscash. And then he did do a nice swap, so he prevented me from getting any more energy. He came right into that Crunch, and then he has got a lot of energy already. And so he is just going to go straight for the Earthquake. I am going to be able to get some Mud Bombs off, but Whiscash which kind of does well here, but if it could just have a couple more levels, which it can, so this is another one to buddy up. And then unfortunately he did have a shield left. And then that crunch isn't going to KO, but I just not going to have enough to finish this match. I did like line up kind of where I wanted to be, but I just needed a little bit more power. And so good game. So we're going to go into this next game, and then we've got the Swampert versus Poliwrath again. So we're going to see if we play it any differently. I'm not going to block. I'm not going to block this early. I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake this time, because last time I just multiple Hydro Cannon him. So he chooses not to block again. And so I'm not going to either. And then if he is in range for just a Hydro Cannon to take him out. So I'm just going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon and then see if I can get a shield. I did not get a shield, so I am going to go into this Gengar. He's got an energy now. And so it's a nice play with Gengar. Does generate a lot of energy quickly if you do lose that lead and you just got a little bit of HP left and you don't have to catch a move. It's definitely a good Gengar strategy. It's a little bit like Charizard. And so that Focus Blast definitely would have taken me out. I'm going to go for this Aqua Tail. I've got a Steelix in the back, and now I've got a little bit of a problem because I have not got a shield. He doesn't know I have a Steelix yet. So I do get his last shield out, and then I've also got some of his energy out on this Drapion. And then because it's not very effective, it's not even going to take it out. So I'm going to go for the Aqua Tail and then come in with my own Steelix. Now the thing about Steelix and Ultra is the Earthquake doesn't do nearly as much. As you can see, even an Earthquake and a Crunch is not gonna take out a full Steelix. So I will be able to get some energy and then get this Crunch off towards this Gengar, and then just farm down with Dragon Tail. Alright, thanks so much guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks especially Toshi for being such an awesome scrim partner. I definitely can't thank you enough for these battles. And I hope you guys enjoy Go Battle League, and I'll be having more meta videos and more battle videos. I'm definitely excited to jump into this, and I hope this has helped some of you, and I can't wait to battle you all. Thanks guys. Thanks again.